And we're live. Hello all, and welcome back to the INVICTUS stream. My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and we are here once again with the fabulous, the talented, the hilarious Mr. Gary Fallon.
Green.
We are joined, as always, by the lovely, the talented, one of my very good friends, Mr. James Schwartz.
Good evening, everybody.
And of course, we wouldn't be here without the lovely, my love, my soon-to-be wife, Ms. Jo Fallak.
Hello.
And we are here tonight with a little game we like to call Winter Solstice. It's going to be an interesting game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is going to be our last stream for a few weeks. Next week, we will not be streaming. And the week after, we will be doing our Christmas game, but not on the usual Wednesday night slot. Nay, we will be doing it on Thursday, the 23rd. Nay! So if you are somebody who loves to come every Wednesday, make sure that you wait 1 week and then come hard on Thursday, because that's when we want you to come.
8 days from now.
8 days from now, because November's over.
Mm-hmm.
8 days from now, we're all gonna come super hard.
Oh
super
man,
hard. We are gonna come at the same time.
Doink December.
I was
all together.
just boxing, and we were doing plank jacks, and the instructor was like, jack it out, and I just burst out laughing, and I fell on the ground.
Oh no.
I was the only one in the class that lost my fucking mind. She's just like, jack it
Jack it harder! Jack it!
don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, without a doubt, an 18+ stream.
Sorry.
I know.
Yeah.
Make sure that you react accordingly. Downvote the video to oblivion. Make sure it gets into those minus numbers, because any interaction is good.
Thanks, algorithm.
You're the best, fucker. Yeah, so next week, like I said, we're going to be off, but that doesn't mean there's lack of content. Nay. This week, I believe, is Severed Fate. New Dimension Door comes out today, correct?
Yes, Severed Fate Dimension Door.
Brand new episode of Dice Shame, episode 113, comes out tomorrow. What?
I just said, ooh.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Yeah, Red says
Some things.
solstice a lot, so
I
it's
do say
apropos
solstice a lot.
of this.
That's why the name came into my head. I didn't realize that.
winter solstice.
I'm dumb. Anyway, it's going to be a good episode. We're going to have some fun there. New episode of Malevolent for Patreons every single week. This week was a good one. Go check it out if you're a fan. Otherwise, the public release of Malevolent will probably be coming out at the end of this month. I'm going to say Christmas Eve. Won't that be fun?
Ooh.
Why
Place your
not?
bets.
That's nice.
Place your bets. Who will live? Who will die? Happy birthday to Marvin, our very good friend. His birthday was the other day.
Marvin.
Happy birthday, Marvin. We love you.
Love you so
Birthday,
much.
bud.
Did you turn 51?
1 years old. He had pizza
51.
and cake, and he's here right now. So go eat some cake.
Oh, he's eating chicken and drinking beer.
That's
Fuck yeah,
the
Marvin.
way my
Fucking
Marvin
hero.
lives.
That's life, man. That's life. Whew.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do something next Wednesday that might be pre-recorded, because we are actually recording Dice Shame next Wednesday. That's why we can't be doing it.
We
because
could show them hereafter.
Hereafter. That we were thinking that too. We might do some Hereafter stream, which is a stream we do on Tuesdays. By the way, if you're always looking for more content with 3 of the 4 people here, Gary, Joe, and myself, we stream every Tuesday at 7:30 on Sigil stream, I should say. It is a D&D campaign that I wrote from scratch. It's a blast. A lot of fun. I'm having fun with it, at least.
I love it. It's the best.
It's the best.
It's a lot of fun.
Around.
Beyond that, new episode of our Christmas radio show comes out tomorrow at noon. We'll be live streaming it.
Did you listen to the first
You
episode?
should.
so
it's great. If you haven't
good.
listened to the first
Me
episode,
too.
go down to the Discord right now and download it. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. It is just holiday music without ads. Well, at least no real ads. We do make some fake ads up. And Joe and I are hosting it. And it's a lot of fun. It's definitely been a long time coming dream of mine to do a little radio show ever since I was a wee little badger. So yeah, go listen to that, download it, and laugh and upvote it and do all that kind of shit. Because you can't upvote it because the Google Drive file. So.
Yeah, we don't want to upload that to YouTube.
Upload
They'll be
it.
like, Everything's copyrighted.
But yeah, if you want to be a call-in guest, including email us at the invictusstream@gmail.com with just a clip. All you have to do is record yourself, pretend you're calling into a Christmas radio show and send it to us, and then we'll fit it in. Marvin was our first caller, unbeknownst to him, because he just sent us something silly and we threw him in there. So lots of cool stuff.
Actually, really good music, though. Harlan's got great taste in Christmas music, so if you're tired of all the fucking little drummer
taste in
boy,
music in general,
you do.
let's just say.
But especially Christmas music, I think.
'Cause
It's a great mix.
Yeah, we got Christmas shoes. We got
More Christmas shoes. That
this
one that's about a donkey.
the donkey one.
All the
Nice,
best.
nice.
Christmas donkey shoes.
It slaps.
Shoes for
as
the
the
dog.
What is the
children
most
say.
modern song you have on there? Is there a time period the 2000s was shit for Christmas music?
No, I got some 90s stuff. I got Oi to the World, no doubt. I got No Use for a Name, Fairy Tale of Old New York. But I also mixed in, some of them I do custom mixes. So the Vandals, I have the Vandals intro to Oi to the World, which cuts into the No Doubt Oi to the World, because I think that's a better mix. I also have the Charles Brown bells for Please Come Home for Christmas, but the Eagles track, because I think the Eagles did it better, but the bells make me... So I do a lot of that kind of shit.
You a fancy
DJ.
motherfucker. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's great.
I do a lot of weird stuff like that, where I'll
sounds
put
so
different
good.
song mixes in because I like them a little more.
And
So-
then there's a little clip of Harlan pretending to sell you tires or something.
yeah, well, you'll have to wait and buy tires tomorrow and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
right,
if you wanna-
Dinosaur Tire.
Yeah,
They're a
if you wanna
sponsor.
listen to it. What's Oh No?
I went into the Invictus Radio voice chat by accident.
Oh no! Everyone go there and listen
Ah!
to Gary. But yeah, he's just talking this delayed. Tim couldn't be with us tonight, unfortunately. We love you, Tim, but he had a busy day, beaten down by the drudgery of New York City. I think he lives in.
Beaten off by the
Beaten off.
drudgery.
Beaten off.
By the
He
drudgery.
just had to jack
Beaten
off
off.
for the night.
You just had to jack it harder.
had to unplug.
Tim, if you're beaten off right now, enjoy. Don't watch
understand.
us. Well, I mean, if you want to.
Don't.
I don't want to yuck your yum. You do you. But literally,
It's I couldn't do it live, so
do it live. No, I'm pretty sure he lives in New York, right?
roughly
I don't know.
stroked by life.
Yeah. Been there. The hands, the sandpaper palms I have to stroke myself is my hard-earned right as a man.
I will stroke when I feel like stroking.
Yeah. If I make a fire, you'll know I've done a good job.
Jesus Christ.
Superstar is different
Shake
than
my-
Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. We found out recently.
Is it?
By a lot from the sounds of it.
I didn't know that. I thought they were one and the same, but that's just because I'm ignorant to all things Christ. But not Christmas. It's one of my favorite holidays, so there's an enigma for you.
We're getting our Christmas tree this weekend.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there,
Nice.
fuckers.
Yeah, fuckers. Fuck you. How dare you have a good holiday?
We're gonna get to the tree farm first, and we're gonna take all
I
of
feel
the
like I'm
trees.
missing some important news. I can't remember though. Is there anything I'm? I did point at this with Gary before you guys arrived. Look how much I can extend my jaw.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Not impressive.
That's
I
pretty good.
said,
Hold on.
look like
Let's
an
all get
orc.
in there. Everyone ready?
Zug zug. Pretty good.
What are we
Hurts,
doing
though.
today?
And with that,
And with that,
that.
winter snowsness
Yep, 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 yep.
starting now. Badgerville, Winnipeg has 107 people, 45 households, 27 families, all residing in the village. Population density is 35% people per square kilometer, mostly Caucasian, 45 households out of which 26% have children under the age of 18 living with them. 48% were married couples living together. 11% had a female householder with no husband present. And 40% were non-families. All of these numbers mean squat to you as you look out the window to the blistery winter storm that barrels against the small plane you find yourselves in. Landing feels like an earthquake as the tires fight to find purchase on the icy runway. It's 4:45 a.m. Today is the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. And the small town of Badgerville, Winnipeg, is about to find its true calling. With a resigned sigh, you each unbuckle yourselves, nod to each other, and step off the plane into the biting, cold wind. You descend the stairs as the wind blows angrily through each of your jackets. Who are we looking at? Gary. Each of you has been assigned to come to Badgerville for a very specific reason. You don't know exactly why, but this is absolutely a matter of intense interest for each of your respective departments. Gary, who are we looking at?
Hi, everybody. I'm Todd Olson, very new to the force. I am a lawman, a lawmaker, a man of the law, an officer of the law, and I am here to, gosh darn it, I'm here to apprehend some criminals. That is what my mission in life is, and that's what I'm all about. I'm a cop. I'm a real cop. That's what I am. And I'm tall, got some brown hair, wearing like a flannel jacket, I suppose. That's what I'm going to wear.
It's very cold. It's a little too thin. And as you tuck up, I picture you having a mustache and everything else.
He's got a big mustache.
Yeah. And as you sort of come down, you see a black van, like an SUV, and a man with his coat dressed appropriately for the weather, holding the door open for you as you usher in. Behind you, we see James. Who is James as he walks down the plane steps?
So walking down the plane steps, you see someone who is a little bit skinnier on the skinny side. He's about 6'3", and he is definitely hauling a bag that is probably double his body mass. It looks way too heavy for him to be carrying it all by himself, but he seems to be tugging it along with some sort of finesse, as if he's done this many times before. And you are looking at Steve Toney. Steve Toney is a crime scene photographer, and he is hauling around his big bag of camera lenses and gear, and he's wearing a vest with many pockets of all sorts of different kinds of measurement devices and different kinds of things he would need to properly document a crime scene.
Perfect. And as you are ushered into the SUV behind you, we see the final person step off the plane. Who are we looking at, Joe?
I walk down the steps into the cold day, and I drop my aviators down on my face. I've got a big, puffy, black Roxy winter jacket with a fur-lined hood underneath, made even more bulky by my standard issue, but a little bit higher class bulletproof vest. I am Georgia Chen. I've been a police officer since I left high school, and just like my daddy, I come here to bring law to the citizens, and definitely not because I was reprimanded by my home station and sent here to maybe get myself out of the line of administrative fire. I'm here to change lives.
And as you step down the steps and enter the SUV, the three of you who sort of stayed quiet, I kind of pictured Todd sleeping the whole flight almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like leaned back like something over
Sleep's
his eyes.
Important. The most important.
Georgia maybe like making notes in her book, and Steve maybe like adjusting his equipment. The three of you sort of have a moment to yourselves as the engine starts. It's still dark out, as the SUV peels off the icy runway of the small airport just outside of Winnipeg, Manitoba. And as you continue sort of up north, an hour goes by. The sun begins to dawn only just over the trees that seem to claustrophobically hug you as you turn off the main highway to a small strip of land for another hour perhaps, until you finally turn off onto what looks to be a single lane running next to a large body of water. And as you become more and more isolated from that city, you see, just on the edge of a beautiful lake, despite it being frozen over, this small town, Badgerville. There's only a few houses, not that many. You see the small strip, maybe the lights of an early morning bar, a church on the hill behind. It's almost picturesque. But in your stomach, you know there's something sinister that's brought you here. And just on the outskirts of town, the SUV, the driver who's silent to anything, sort of pulls off, and the door opens, and a young-looking man in a thin V-neck shirt, sort of buttoned up to the... Oh, that's not a good comment to bring. Buttoned up to the brim, sort of steps in and introduces himself. I'm Deputy Irvin May, or you must be Georgia Chen, and he holds out a hand to you.
She shakes it a little bit too hard.
Oh, ow. Todd Olson?
He will shake the guy's hand almost exactly the same way Georgia did. Like, every movement she made, he'd be like, okay, yeah, that's me. He'll shake his hand.
And Steve Toney, and he doesn't hold out his hand. He's like a bit hurt from the first two.
Hey.
What's his name again?
My name is Deputy Irvin May. Thank you so much for coming. I don't know how much you are informed of the situation, but and he sort of turns to the driver and says, "Oh, you can take us to the house." And he turns around, and you see as you start down the strip, it's quiet. No one's really out this early in the morning. And he has a loose bundle of papers tucked under his arm as he sort of breathes life into his hands. Were you informed on the way over here, or did they just send you the stats?
We have little information.
Okay.
We're going to have to improvise here.
Right. Well, I don't know if any of you are any good at improvising, so to speak, but I wanted you to know about the situation at hand. We're a small town here in Badgerville. There's rarely any crime, but there's been a series of incidents as of late. It's probably the best way I can put it. I'm going to be your liaison. Unfortunately, the sheriff is, he is not doing very well. Again, I don't know how much you know of the situation, but I can get right to the case if you'd prefer.
Georgia scrubs at the frost on the window of this vehicle and looks out at the dawning sun. What time is it?
Yeah, it's like 6, 7 a.m. now, maybe. Probably
right.
7 a.m. Because
Yeah.
you arrived at like 5, and it's about a 2-hour drive.
She's like,
white.
I don't know anything about this town. My briefing was unfortunately skinnier than I would have liked. Anything that you can give us will be helpful for the case. And
Of course, yeah.
These small town police forces, I understand, can use all the help they can get. So that's why we're here, deputy.
Yeah, and you can tell immediately this guy's like out of his element. He doesn't know half of what he's doing. Even the shirt is a little too loose on him, and he's like, "Permission to speak candidly?" He asks to no one in particular.
I look over at Todd.
Yeah, right? He looked to confirm with the two of you. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I knew that. You go.
Thanks. Listen, I spent most of my days inside. The sheriff wasn't really hands-on, and we only have a handful of police officers that sort of handle the day-to-day. The dogs that get out and the squirrels that end up bothering people and things like that. But the sheriff, Andrew Hickman, he's dying. He's on his deathbed. Day by day, he's getting worse, and we're just waiting for this cancer to kind of finish him off.
So sorry to hear that.
It's terrible, but it also has put us in a bit of a purgatory, if you will, where they haven't brought in a new sheriff to replace him just yet. And since it happened so quick, I've kind of just been keeping the place warm. And then in the past 2 weeks, this fell into my lap. And he opens the file. There's been 3 missing people. And, well, a murder. That's what kind of escalated it to you. And, frankly, we don't know about the other 3 now. Maybe they're not missing people anymore, but we haven't found them. And we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of wilderness out here. And he gestures to the window, and you see as you're like rounding the lake, you see the morning sun reflecting off the glistening ice of the large lake next to you. The small number of buildings sort of outstretched on the small hill beside you. And again, as you're moving sort of through town, you're starting to see a little bit more life. You see a woman standing outside of the bar. She's sort of like adjusting like a big sign. It looks like it's written handwriting and paper. You see a woman sort of like doting on a small child, and they all sort of look at these black SUVs. It's sort of a line. You know, you're in one, and there's maybe another one behind that might be carrying your equipment and stuff like that. So there's a bit of a processional almost as you're moving through the town. And he says, it started with Carol Turner. She went missing last week. And then on Sunday, Father Copeland disappeared. And now Philip Sears is missing. And then, well, there was the murder. And almost as he says that, the SUVs pulled to a halt in front of a police cordoned off area. And you see a young woman, again in a shirt 2 sizes too big, sort of standing there talking to an old lady who's trying to look around her. And he sort of says, do you want to see, or would you rather debrief before we go?
We want to... And Todd's kind of like, he looked to Steve and George. What we want to do right now is probably see
The briefing.
The brief is what we want to see. That's what we need to see right now, this second.
Okay, of course, sir. I'm so sorry. Wow, you...
No problem.
And he like reaches and he's like going through the file. He's almost talking to himself. He's like, you real policemen are so different than the ones I'm used to. Such an authentic portrayal. And
George
with the big
shoots a
boys now.
glance at Todd.
And he hands across...
visibly wilt. Sorry. Excuse me.
And he hands across this folder, and he hands it to Todd.
He'll accept it the wrong way up and kind of look through it, and then be like, shit. Yeah, that is some...
Yeah, and
brief
Todd,
you
as you
got
open
there.
it, you see like the most horrific images of grisly... You just see like flesh and bone.
Yeah. He's pulling through, he's like, this is some good stuff. I've got the stomach for it. I have the stomach for it. Because I'm a cop, okay? Steve, can you take this, please? I think you're a photographer.
I can look at it.
Analyze that for the ISOs
shit.
and the
camera
doohickeys.
The ISOs, right? Yeah. This is some dark shit.
You see Todd throw up into his coffee.
Great.
But he like drinks it back because he's too like embarrassed. He's like,
I was just burping. I was burping.
Deputy, when were these taken?
Well, those were just taken last night when it happened. The body's still there. We didn't touch it. They put you on a red eye to get here as soon as possible.
It's
Are you okay, Detective?
Hey, listen here.
Officer
Hey,
Olson, would you like a fisherman's friend? And he reaches into his bag and he hands out a small little package of fisherman's
I'll
friend.
take one of those, but only because, plain breath. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm a pro.
Wow, yeah. And he's like so elated. He's like, oh, I gave a fisherman's
Actually,
friend
give me a
to
second
real
one of
police.
those. Give me a second one of those, please.
Of
Can I have
course.
another one? One more,
You can
thank
have the
you.
whole package. And he
George
hands
is
you the
like-
package.
Looking in
this
her
is-
compact
this is
mirror, fixing her
gonna be
like
pretty.
lipstick.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be grisly. How cold is it here? You guys are down in the negatives, right?
Oh, yeah, it's about -15 today.
What?
Oh well, at least it won't
Negative
smell
15?
that bad.
What's the name of the deceased?
Oh, that's Lynn Fisher. You can see right there on the report, there's a little bit of vomit on it. And he, like, flicks a piece of, like, carrot off of it.
Must have been someone at the scene who did that.
Oh, it was pretty grisly. Like, he's not missing a beat. Like, he's, like, so happy to just jump on. He's like, it was pretty terrible. I nearly threw up too, Mr. Olson, sir. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Not that you should.
I don't know why you're saying two there, sir. No one's thrown up here.
No, absolutely. It just turns my stomach, I tell you. Well, let's. And he exits, and again, the biting cold immediately washes into the car as the three of you step out, and you hear the young officer off to the side talking to an older woman, and she's like, "Well, no, Miss Barry, you can't go in there because it's just not. You're not gonna." You don't want to see what happened to Lynn. Trust me. Oh, and she
Excuse me,
Yes.
police coming through.
Oh.
She like undoes her jacket and like throws it open to reveal she has like 2 pistols on her hips.
Oh,
and
my.
she's like, we're taking over the scene here. Thank you, everyone. All witnesses, please just file to the left of the vehicle and stay back from the crime scene.
Oh, of course. And like the young officer like stands as if she's a witness as well.
All right. So what we're looking at here is the code 347. If I
347 people.
And you
If
see
I-
the deputy like grabbing a notepad. He's like,
and she like kind of struts forward, looks at the house, and she's like, "Well, it's not much to look at from the outside, am I right?"
well, it's actually that house right there.
Of course.
It's the one next
with the
door.
police tape.
And yeah, and the
I-
other officer standing waving you.
Of course, and that's what I was referring to. Thank you.
No, of course. Would you like if or did you want to? I don't.
Please. And she walks forward and gestures for Todd and Steve to follow her.
Yep.
Todd
And
will
the
have
deputy
seen
like
you,
hangs back and he's like grinning from ear to ear, and he's like next to the other officer. He's like, "They're real city detectives." And yeah, the three of you walk up to the house. You see there's a third detective, sort of a younger guy with sort of tight black hair, neatly parted, and he's sort of just looking around with like a slack jaw.
Someone just posted what a code 347
Code 347.
is completely lost due to incompetence.
That's great. That's really good.
Thank you, Marvin.
How perfect is that?
Very good. Sorry.
Yeah, and you see sort of another guy standing there, and he's like, "Oh, hello."
Good morning. I'm Officer Georgia Chen. We'll be taking over this crime scene. And you are?
Oh, Officer McGowan. I'm kind of just helping out. I'm actually Irvin's friend. And he kind of waves, and Irvin down on the street is like,
I'm sure you're doing your best.
"Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing here."
And the
I
body's
I stepped in blood. He looks under his like foot for a second.
the body is inside the
God.
domicile?
No. Would you like me to show you where?
Please.
And as you enter, you notice a few things. First and foremost, the door looks like it's been kicked in. There's sort of a broken, there's splintering of wood. The door is sort of thrown back. As you start moving into the house, you also see that there's a double sliding glass window at the back of it that's almost blown out. Glass litters the backyard and onto the snow. And then directly out back, you see the edge of the woods. And he sort of just begins walking out of the house towards the woods.
Do we... Like, he's expecting us to follow him? Is that kind of the vibe we're getting?
He's waiting. He's following your lead. If you guys want to look around the house, you can.
I think as we're going through, Steve already has his camera out, and he pops off his lens cap, and he's taking a couple pictures of the door. And like just as they go through, I think the dossier had a lot of like close-up grisly photos of like blood and stuff. And he's like, not many of the crime scene or like the surrounding area.
Like
So
none of the
just-
crime scene. Yeah.
Yeah, just like, oh shit, blood, bodies. This is what city folk want.
Yeah.
So he's just taking pictures as he goes.
Yeah.
Cool.
And as you and even you looking at the pictures, you kind of recognize that the pictures of the body were almost like high school artistic too. Like they were like low shots.
Oh, there's like fucking there's
There's,
a
like-
filter on it.
There's like a perfect snowflake on like one of the bloody like nubbins.
That's great.
You know, and as you and like maybe you take a second, you like look at those, and Stephen McGowan, the officer, is like, "You like those? My girlfriend did those. We don't have a photographer, so I asked her to come in, and she offered to help." And I
Obviously.
particularly like, and he like flips a few photos, and he's like, I like that one, and it's just a tree, like not even part of the crimes. It's just like a tree. I thought it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that one's that's a good tree. It's a very good tree. The rest of these, I would love to take them, like
Of
with
course.
my camera again. Just
sure.
to double check everything. Oh, like they're good. They're good. It definitely gives me a picture in my head, a really good picture of what's happened here.
Oh,
But
of course,
I wanna
Tina
make
won't mind
sure-
at all. It'd be
Yeah.
great.
Oh
In
no,
fact,
these are
I'm
good.
sure
These
she'd
are
love
good.
a
You
few
should.
few pointers from you.
Yeah, I'll send you
Tina,
some.
and he turns and like a girl sits up from the couch. Like there's
Oh,
like glass all over too. She's like
sitting
lying in it, and she like sits up.
in the
She's got
crime
this like
scene.
orange like puffy winter
having a
coat,
nap.
and she's got like a headband and like long like sort of blonde hair with a streak of purple. And she sits up and she's kind of like, "Oh," and she walks up and comes around. She's like, "I'd love to take some pictures with you. Are you guys the city folks?"
We're from the city. Yeah.
Wow. Real
right.
detectives. And Officer McGowan's
Real.
like. So as you're taking pictures, Steve, you do notice that the front door, there's like a boot print on it. Like it got kicked in.
Cool. I'm gonna zoom in, get a nice close-up shot of that, so I can see a clear tread pattern.
Yeah, and I think the deputy is like walking up now, and he's like, "Oh, what are you taking a picture of there?" Yeah, we think the door got kicked in, but we don't exactly know by whom. Obviously, there's a lot of kickers in the
Many people
Village.
with feet, yes, deputy.
Oh, we have an award-winning soccer team, you silly goose, says the other officer from the far side. That's what the deputy was referring to. And he's like, yeah, I was. McGowan got me.
I get up
Soccer
close
team?
to the footprint and I take a look with my discerning eye. Is there anything remarkable about this footprint?
Sure, yeah. It's like a size 11. It's sort of got like a familiar tread. Like it's got a discernible tread.
Like
You
a
could definitely-
common
well,
sorrel boot. or
Definitely
whatever.
something that you can like file away to look up after for sure.
Great.
You can mark it down as evidence, put it that way. And he sees you looking at it. He's like, "Oh, would you look at that? Hey, McGowan, did you notice that there's a boot print here?" And he walks over and he's like, "Oh." He like licks his thumb and he like rubs a little bit of it away, like just removes
I
part of
smack
the
his
evidence.
hand.
He's like, "Oh."
What are you doing?
And like he's just kind of like nervous, and then the deputy catches on. He's like, "You dunderhead, you took away a piece of the evidence." And Gowan's like, "Oh, I did, didn't I? I am so sorry."
I don't suppose you did any more of cleaning, did you? Did you do any other cleaning?
No.
we
Look,
got
we might
here?
be a
No,
small town, but
everything's-
we're not complete idiots. We didn't do anything like that. We had a whole parade of people walking through here, making sure no one touched nothing.
A parade of people. Excellent.
Well, we had a few people that wanted to see the crime scene, as it were. So,
and I take it all of these people were officers, right? Deputies and such, weren't they?
at the beginning, yeah, but there was a few looky-loos, and as you're talking, you hear the other officer, the female officer, and the old lady, and she's like bringing her up. She's like, "Okay, but just a quick peek, Martha." And they like stop at the door, and the deputy reading the room, like turns around, and he's like, "No." She's like, "Oh," okay," and turns the old lady around again. Anyway, would you like to see the deceased?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Perfect. And as you walk towards the back, you step over the broken glass of the back window. Again, it looks almost blown out. The double doors, I should say, sorry, not window, but the double doors are blown out. And you step over the crunching glass.
Steve, we're going to need a couple photos this year.
Yep, I'm already on it, Georgia.
Yeah, and you take a few photos and you notice immediately the glass that's blown out, it doesn't look as if it's been kicked like the other place. It looks very like a much bigger break. You know that glass like this would sort of splinter and shatter, but this is almost blown out. And as you take a picture, you do notice that sort of on the bottom of the sill, there's a little bit of like black liquid, like ink.
Okay, I'm gonna switch over to my macro lens.
Yeah,
take a
macro
really
it.
nice, sexy close up of it, and then I'm gonna pull out from my wonderful vest of many pockets. I'm gonna pull out a little vial, and I'm gonna just take a sample.
Yeah, swab that shit.
Nice. Yeah. Perfect. Then you head out back. It's a little ways into the woods, maybe 50, 100 feet. So much so that you almost can't see the house after a few steps. The path now well trodden from the many pairs of boots that have walked over this crime scene. And as you sort of move past out into the backyard, you smell it first. Despite the cold, you can smell that irony scent on the wind, and your stomach drops. Splayed out on the winter floor of the clearing is the remains of a woman. However, she's clearly been mutilated by what could be only guessed as a beast. And I'm not talking about anything other than like rib cage torn open, limbs everywhere. It's the absolute most graphic depiction of violence you have ever seen in your life.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. No wonder they called us out here. This is a portfolio piece here.
And the young photographer next to you, Tina, is kind of like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I kind of want to do that one. And she's like, with Gowan over the pictures, she's like picking the one out for her portfolio. She's like, I think this would be a good submission piece for college. And I think
I wouldn't submit these to college. They will not let you in. Okay. Georgia, how you want to do this?
Standard protocol. She starts handing out little evidence, like standee cards with numbers on them to Steve. Classic. She gets out her notebook and she's going to start making notes about her observations, stuff that she sees on the ground. She turns to one of the other like small town cops and she's like, "I'm going to need a list of all the people who have seen this crime scene." And the size of their boots. And then she turns to Todd and just waits.
So, what I was thinking I'm going to do right now is I've got this chalk, and I'm gonna draw an outline of the victim.
In the snow, Todd.
It's snow.
See, no chalk line. There's always a chalk line. No chalk line? No chalk line. No chalk line. We're not going to do a chalk line today. We don't need that.
All right.
Roger.
Can I recommend you do some interviews maybe with the neighbors?
I can do that.
The house
Yes.
just down the way?
I was just about to say that I should. Yeah, I was just going to say I should do that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yep.
Okay.
And Todd, as you go, make sure you're taking pictures of everyone's feet.
Okay, pictures of people's like. Okay, that's gonna be weird though. Like
no, totally.
with the
normal,
shoes on.
Todd.
With the shoes on.
Yes. That's right. Yeah,
I knew
take
that.
Pictures of their feet with the shoes on. All right.
Yep.
Can you do that for me? You're good
Wavelength.
at that.
We're all.
You got a smartphone
here.
you can use.
I do. Yes.
Just standard bystander interviews.
Yeah.
Protocol.
Standard by standard. Yep. Okay. I'm going. What?
I'm sorry, I don't see that you have any of the paperwork.
I have it.
Is it in the car?
Oh, I can help you, friend. Don't worry. We have copies. Here, Todd, I'll show you across the street. And the deputy sort of sweeps you.
Good training for you, actually. Yeah, I'm going to make sure.
Well, I'm excited to sort of see how a real officer does something like this. I've only ever questioned people door to door.
That's what you're going to get. Okay, let's go. Thanks, George, Steve. You got this covered. I'm going to... Okay.
See you in a bit, Todd.
Okay. Yup. Yep.
As they walk away, Steve goes over to Georgia. So what do you think the odds are he's actually going to take people's feet?
Oh, God, I really hope he does.
Oh, it's going to be... I'm betting... I'll bet you $5 he gets at least 3 people before he gets slapped.
I'll take those odds.
All right.
Well, I'll take some of that action too, says McGowan as he like leans in.
Nope.
What are we betting on?
Nope.
Oh,
Nothing, McGowan.
Nope.
is there anything I can get you? Maybe some extra film for that digital camera or a hot cup of cocoa?
You know what? I would love a hot cup of cocoa, thank you.
Cocoa
As
would
hot
be-
as you can make it.
Cocoa would be wonderful. Absolutely
do.
wonderful.
Not from the victim's house.
Oh,
You got to make that's a crime scene.
but that'll be so
That's
far
a
away.
crime scene.
You said folk are so funny. Okay, I'll walk a little farther then. And he takes a step and stops and he's like, water or milk for the base?
Oh,
Oh, that's
really nice of you to ask.
That's a good question. I'd love some. I'd love
I'll
some
go with milk. Milk sounds
Yeah,
good.
that'd be
Alright.
great.
Thank you.
And he takes a
Thank
step
you.
and then steps back. A marshmallow?
No, thank you.
Okay. And he takes a step and steps back. You want it toasted?
No. Thank you, though.
A little whipped cream, perhaps, for the little
You know
baby?
what?
Yeah.
Just the hot chocolate.
Okay.
Just the hot chocolate.
Do you want me to just whip it up? Take a get. Okay.
As fast as you can now.
2
right, we'll
candy
see you
cane
in-
hot chocolates
we'll-
coming up.
we'll-
And he
we'll
walks
see you,
off into
McGowan.
the woods. And as he walks, you hear the like distinct crunch squish of him stepping on the body. He's like, "Oh, I do that again." Oh, goof me. And he walks off, leading like bloody footprints off into the woods.
All right, Steve.
Yeah.
This is the worst murder I've ever seen, and I've only been on the force for 8 years, but I've seen some shit.
Yeah, this is Georgia, this is real bad. This is worse than like crappy serial killer who saw way too many, horror movies. This is really bad, Georgia. Like, and I would
Listen.
say maybe we had a 70% chance of figuring this shit out with a good crime scene. This is not a good crime scene.
From what I'm
McGowan just
seeing
stepped in
here,
the body twice.
I know, and we are going to be impeded at every turn by this
we are.
small town crew of inept fuckwits. But listen, we got 2 options here from how I see it. Number 1, this is a crime of passion. And as I see it, the person who committed this crime is going to be easily traceable by context clues and the story that we're going to get from Todd. The information. This is a close-knit community, you know? These people know shit. They get in each other's business. Option number 2, this is a monster. A serial killer. And the evidence that we're missing from this crime scene, because these bungling fucks, and her voice echoes around this wintry
Yes.
clearing,
Yeah.
is gonna be caught by us when another country bumpkin bites it.
And you
Either
just-
way, we're gonna get our man.
And as you finish your speech, you just hear like, click, and like Tina's like, "That was a good speech. I wish this took video." Oh, it does. Smash cut to Todd and the deputy. A door opens, and the deputy is sort of like, Cabra, this is Todd Olson, Officer Todd Olson, and he's got a few questions for you, and I'm just going to take a little looky-loo. Actually, do you have any tea? You know what? Never mind. Todd, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna need a notepad. What's the deputy's name?
Here, take mine. Here.
Thank you. It's good to see you're prepared here. You got a pen. You got a pen.
Of course. He
Cool. Thank you very much.
like
now,
takes off the lid for you.
Could I ask your name, please? He'll say to the person who's
Yeah, and she's like, Kebra.
Cabra. Is that with a K or a C? Like zebra, but zebra, but with a K or a C? With K or a C?
It's with a K.
Thank you very much. How you feeling today, Cabra?
I have a little bit of strep throat.
A strep throat, yeah? Had that for long?
My whole life.
Had your whole life. Okay. So where were you? Where were you the night of the event? Might I ask?
She steps back and she points, and as you like lean in, you see her living room. There's a large bay window that shows out to the house in question, and there you see a well-stocked workshop of taxidermy. There's like a split squirrel, and there's like just rabbits and ducks all sort of filling the shelf to her immediate right. And as you sort of lean back in, she's like lighting up a cigarette.
Okay, so you were in that toy shop? You sell toys? Is that what I'm seeing here?
I taxidermy things.
You
Squirrels, ducks,
Oh, hey, okay. Now you kids, woodland animals don't do the taxes, okay?
gooses.
You what? Taxes?
Gooses.
Oh, yep, got you. Okay. Kebra, I'm going to ask you something here. I'm going to ask you to comply with me when I ask you to do this. Please take off your right shoe.
She bends down, takes off her right shoe and her sock.
And
She stands there, like, clearly lopsided now.
he'll write something down, and he'll kind of put the notepad in his pocket and sleeve up, and he'll take it from her. I'm going to need this for evidence, okay? Now, I don't want to hear any arguments, Kebra, okay? This is going to come back to you eventually, all right? Now, I'm going to put this behind me here, and we're going to continue on.
And the deputy's like got a little baggie open, like a big
Thank you
evidence
very
baggie.
much. Just going to put
Puts
that
it
in there. Do not touch it. Do not touch it with your fingers. You'll put it in this bag. Now, Kebra, I'm going to ask you to hold up your foot, please. Your non-shoed foot, please. I need to take a quick picture here.
And
He'll
she
take
holds
his
up her
smartphone out.
foot, like presents it. She just like locks eyes with the deputy while smoking, and he's just sort of blankly smiling.
He'll take a few pictures from like different angles. And you're like, Kebra, I'm seeing you. You're smoking a cigarette here, Kebra. Is this a stress reaction for you?
I always smoke.
You always smoke when you're stressed. Like
No.
you are now. You stressed, Kebra? I feel like you're stressed. You've been stressed.
I'm
here.
not stressed. Are
I
you
guess I'm-
trying to solve that there murder across the street?
Why else would I be here, Kebra? Come on, I'm a cop. I'm a real cop, Kebra. I'm here to solve a crime. I'm asking
The
you
deputy's
questions,
like-
and you're stressed here.
Cabra, answer the gentleman. He's here all the way from the big city. Come on, Cabra. And she's like,
You should start by asking about Philip.
Now, Kebra, you didn't say who. He looked at that. Philip? Who is Philip, deputy? This is new
Kebra,
information
Philip.
for me.
are you talking about Philip Sears? Cabra sort of nods.
I saw him drop off Lynn last night. Then I went to bed. I need my beauty sleep.
Now, Kebra, can someone can someone else tell that? Back up your story there that you're telling about Philip. Philip, is that his name? Philip Sears.
If squirrels could talk, my friend. If
They
squirrels
can, Kebra.
could
Is that why
talk.
you're smoking? So, hold on. Just in the game, is Philip Sears dead or alive?
Philip Sears is one of the missing people.
Missing people. Okay, okay. So you're saying you saw Philip Sears last night dropping off Lynn?
I said what I said. Is there anything else you need, officer?
No, I think that's okay. I think that's okay for right now.
Okay.
You
and
are
the
free to go. I decree
deputy-
you free to go.
Deputy's like, well done. Well, great job, officer. That's very good. Okay, Kebra, thanks so much, and I appreciate you. And I love you, Mom. And he leans over, he like kisses her on both cheeks, and he's like, I'll come over for dinner later. And he like reaches in and shuts the door. Well, Philip Sears is also missing. That's interesting.
That's your mother?
My mother-in-law. Yeah, my wife passed away many years now. My mother is over in Tuberkin, but I see her every once in a while. We still have a good relationship.
Took her
She's,
shoe.
yeah, no, that's all right. She has many of them. Look, she's got one right there. You can see in the
Oh,
front window. She's like
yeah.
putting another shoe on.
Listen, can I ask you something just real quick?
Of course.
How did I do? Did you
You were a consummate professional.
Yeah,
Would you
can-
like Mother to tell you? Would you like her
if
opinion?
it's not too much trouble for her,
course not.
just give an
And-
evaluation of my work here. I would love to know.
Todd and the deputy walk back inside. Georgia and Steve, you are standing over the body. What are you
Yeah, I want to take a good look at this fucking jam disaster of a human being.
doing? Yeah. Yeah, you spend the last, however many minutes looking over, and all you can really tell is that some creature, some bear-like strength monster tore this body asunder. And large pieces of her are missing, almost as if they were devoured. Is our audio shit all of a sudden?
I'm
On
hearing
my end, it is.
okay.
No,
we
no,
cutting
it's
out?
definitely on my end. It's on my end.
Sorry, James.
Sorry,
That's okay.
James.
I'm gonna fuss with it.
But yeah, there are pieces of her missing.
You know, Steve, I'm not fully convinced this is a human perp. You can see here and here claw marks, bite marks. Although, I don't know if we can put it past this community force to have protected the body from scavengers in the night. And if that's the case, well, any evidence we gather here is pretty much a write-off. What do you think? Steve? You just daydreaming? Come on, man!
Oh, now his mic's not working.
Oh no,
Your mic's not working.
Steve.
Now you're quiet.
You know what?
No.
Do you want to cut back?
So
for,
like you.
Yeah, let's cut back to Todd and Deputy, where we're like leaving the house after your review because it's not necessary. And she's just like, it was great. And she's like, happy.
He will do one thing in that house. if
Okay,
that's
cool, yeah.
So
There we
of
go.
course,
I
you
was
get to
muted.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it
Todd will
muted me. I'm
quickly
sorry
go-
about that.
It's okay. We'll finish the Todd scene.
Cool.
He'll just very quickly go to the taxidermy area, and he has in his head he has an idea, which he will explain later. But unless there are more than like how many squirrels are there, he will take as many of them. If all of them, he will take them with him back.
There's 37.
Take the squirrels!
So I'll take as many squirrels. I'll take an armful of squirrels.
We'll call that 7.
7 squirrels and come back with them because he has some big brain stuff.
Sure. And as when you went back in, the deputy is like off in the kitchen with his mother, and she's making tea, and you grab these squirrels, and then like all of a sudden she's like right there next to you, and all you hear in your ear is she says, "Happy winter solstice," and she like blows smoke into your ear as you like leave with this armful of squirrels.
He just
Yeah. Cut back
does not know
to
whether to be aroused by that.
Cut back to Georgia and Steve. What are you two doing?
We're just like shooting the shit, standing like 4 centimeters from this bloody corpse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and George is like, what do you think? Scavengers?
Like animal scavengers or like organ
Yes.
scavengers? Because
Yes,
hey,
Steve. Come on. Do you think this town does a lot of organ trading? I'm talking about coyotes, wolves, bears, badgers. I mean, the town is called Badger Thing.
Badgerville, says the voice as he walks back with 2 hot cocos, like balanced. He's like,
Thank you. She grabs it.
Badgerville.
thanks, McGowan. I appreciate it.
And before he can like get to yours, he like trips and spills the hot cocoa all over the frozen body. She's like,
Oh, no.
oh,
Okay, McGowan, it's okay. I got the samples. We got photos.
sorry.
You know what, McGowan? Bag it, please.
It's winter solstice. You know what happens.
No, what? What do you mean?
No.
Oh, winter solstice is a big thing around here. Longest night of the year.
Does that mean that the
Yeah.
coroner's office is closed or what?
Anything can happen. I just mean to say, when bad things happen on winter solstice, you say winter solstice.
All
Do
right.
bad things normally happen on winter solstice?
No.
Gross.
What happened last year on winter solstice, McGowan?
Oh, well, that would be the year that Tilly Can died.
You trying to tell me this is an annual event?
Oh, no. That was just a car accident, but it was quite sad about it, of course. Tilly Can was one of the nicest badgers we had.
Badgers.
Is
Oh, yes.
that an actual badger, or is that what you guys call yourselves? Like, you're from this town, so you're a badger?
The deputy walks in, he's like, No. Tilly Can was our town badger. She died last year on the winter solstice. Completely unrelated, as far as I'm
Are
concerned.
you saying she's a literal, actual badger?
Well, she was. Now she is,
she was
she's
hit
stuffed.
by a car. All right.
Mom did it, actually. And he turns to Todd, who's got armfuls of squirrels.
Todd.
Guys,
You
how you doing?
have a lot of squirrels. Todd, I was not expecting so many squirrels. For
How
some
many?
reason.
How many photos did you get, Todd?
I got 3. Now I got 3 detailed photographs of the
And a
mother's
boot.
foot, and of course the boot. Now, what I want to do, she said, if squirrels could talk, I'll relay the information I was told about the Phillips series. She said, if squirrels could talk, right? So I saw on CSI this one time, you can get these tiny little cameras and put them into the eyes of things. I'm thinking we check all 37 squirrels back there. I got 7 here for cameras and see if we can get some CCTV footage of what happened on the night. That's what I think we're going to do.
All right, we'll send them off to the lab.
To the lab.
That's a great idea, Officer Olson. That's crazy thinking. See, and he turns to McGowan and he's just like, that's brilliant. If I was thinking outside the box like Olson here, I would have done that instead of pulling the CCTV footage from Mom's house. Because she has it. I made her install it after the neighbors kept stealing her garbage cans. Turned out it was
footage
this.
of...
Oh yeah. Hey, McGowan, I guess we have footage.
Can we see that? Can
We
should
would
see
love
that.
to see the footage, please.
let us
Sure,
please-
sure. Oh, look at this. We're learning things all the time, McGowan. The 3 of you are crammed around the small, like, office computer. Like, it's a back room, and it's next to a donut shop, the sheriff's station.
Naturally.
And as you watch this footage, you see a red pickup truck sort of pull up last night around 9 o'clock. And you see a man in the driver's seat, and a woman steps out. And quickly, the deputy pauses it. Now, that is Lynn Fisher. She's walking up to her house. And that right there, well, I'm not entirely sure who that is. There's a few pickup trucks in town. And then he presses play, and you see Lynn walk up into the house, and the car drive away.
And then we like fast forward through the footage until nighttime. Do we see anything?
And maybe like half an hour later, you see the same pickup truck pull back up. And it sort of drives down the street a little bit and parks. And then you see someone get out and walk up. And the deputy pauses again and he says, there was a pickup truck on the street. I guess that must have been the same one. McGowan, run the license plate on the pickup that was down the street. And he goes, pickup? Yeah, the truck. There's a red truck down the street. Whose street? From the murder house. Who? He says, we'll do it after. And he presses play, and you see this figure stride up to the front of the house. He knocks on the front door and waits. Then you see the figure sort of put his ear up to the front door. And then in a panic, he steps back and kicks open the front door. And as he does, he walks in, looks around, and as the door sort of listlessly shuts, that's the last you see of the footage. You fast forward all through the night, but no one ever enters or leaves the house again. And I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well,
Looks to me like we have our first suspect.
I
think
I
it's
would-
Philip Sears. That's what the mother told me.
don't know,
She
guys.
saw.
I don't think that this guy's a perp. I think he's probably another victim. Why would he leave his truck?
He did look
I
taken
mean,
aback.
if I was gonna go in, brutally murder someone, I would want to drive away and not walk out into the freezing wilderness here. I mean,
Come on now, Steve. You know he could have any other means of egress from the scene. He could have had a backup car waiting for him. He could have accomplices. This guy is the last guy we saw on the scene.
Georgia,
Which, yeah.
we've been here for what, 8 hours? Have you seen any? And Steve looks around and notices that they're still surrounded by everyone. He leans in. Have you guys seriously seen anyone who would have been competent enough to do that?
You know, now
That's a
that you
good
say
point.
that. No.
That's a good point.
But hey, maybe he was the exception, you know? He could have come in, did the deed, jumped over the wall, you know.
So
We're not
the
going to know
question-
now. Because
The question here, Steve, is where is the body if he's another victim?
Yeah.
We got to go by Steve's house.
Ran the plates. So it seems like that truck
Oh, hi.
belongs to Philip Sears, which,
Did I say Steve? I meant Philip.
if I remember correctly, that's what Mom said she saw pulling up.
Yeah. That's right.
Problem is, Philip hasn't returned to work.
Where does Philip work?
He works down at the high school. He's a football coach.
Have you been to his house? Since
Wellness
this?
check. This is standard procedure when someone doesn't show up at their place of employment. No one's heard from them. You go and go by their house.
I mean, you said he was missing, right?
Where
Where does he live? Where
Yeah,
does he live?
Yeah, where's he live?
Do you know where he lives? There's about 6 houses here.
I'm not good at being a deputy.
No.
Hey,
you're,
man.
hey.
You're doing great. You're doing
I should
fine.
have done that obvious
No.
stuff.
No.
It's not obvious to everyone, you know.
Deputy May.
Georgia
May,
pushes out of her chair and she takes a walk.
Hey, man, look, you gotta get it together here, okay? You gotta get it together. Come on, you got this here, okay? Where the fuck does Philip Sears live?
Philip Sears. He lives in an apartment building on West Chester.
There,
We can get
There
there.
you go.
Wait, no,
see?
that's not right. There's no apartment buildings.
Dude, come on.
Okay. Let me find out. And he steps up and walks away.
All right. I would love. Hey, Deputy May, do you guys have like a phone book for the town? Seems like
Yep.
something you all would still have and produce yearly.
Yep.
Can I have one, please?
Could I get a copy
Yep.
too if you got two back there?
And he comes back and he's like, I found his address. We can go there right now.
All right, let's go.
Okay. And the three of you are in the...
Georgia's been sitting in the car.
yeah.
Just
You drive
Yeah.
over to the house. A wellness check. Knock, knock, knock. No one's been home all night. It seems like the truck is also gone. And as you're sort of sitting there in the driveway and the deputy is composing himself, he says, you know, he's the third person to be missing in 2 weeks. I mentioned on the way here, but I feel like that's something important. First there was Carol Turner, and then there was the father, Copeland, and now Philip. Lynn is the only murder, though.
so far.
Does Philip have anything in common with the other two, the father and
No.
the daughter?
No, I'm sure about that. Well, they do all drink at the same bar. But that's not uncommon because everyone here drinks at the same bar because there's only one bar
But
in
wasn't
Badgerville.
Philip the one who dropped off Carol? So they don't normally are seen together, and now he's driving her home.
Well, yes.
All right.
Do you drink at this bar?
Well, yes.
And would you say that Philip is normally seen there with Carol?
Yeah, no. Well, Philip is always there. Carol worked there. The father was rarely there. I don't think he was there very much unless there was a retirement party or something. And Lynn maybe once or twice.
I mean, Philip's always there. Maybe someone, does he have good friends there? Someone he always hangs out with?
Oh, we all have good friends there. I mean, it's a good place to be. It's probably one of the most talked about places in all of Badgerville.
Well, that sounds auspicious. What do you think, boys? Should we get a drink?
I'd say we should get a drink. I wouldn't call it suspicious, but sure, let's go. And he gets in the truck.
Hey, what time does the bar open?
Oh, Blanche will open it up for now. It's probably like 10 o'clock now. She'll open it for us.
All right, so bar and then Philip's place.
We're at Philip's place.
We're standing on Philip's doorstep, but I mean,
Jesus
we can.
fuck, I'm
do
so
we want
sorry.
to like bust down the door and see if there's any
And
evidence?
you call
inside?
me a dunderhead. And he like nudges Todd.
I mean, hey, come on. Hey,
Right.
I'm sorry, man.
Come on. I think I think this might be a good lead. And he gets in the car and he starts it up. And you drive down the small strip, a 2-minute drive, to the Twice Bitten, a local
I love
tavern.
that name.
That's really good.
Thank you. And you get out and you see, this is actually the woman that was sort of adjusting a sign as you drove past. And as you see the large handwritten sign, she says, winter solstice stays open late. You know. And it's like underlined.
Oh.
And as you open, you hear the little bling bling. And you enter, and the older looking woman, her cheeks sagging with age, sort of looks at you. She's wearing a tank top despite the freezing cold wind outside. It's warm in here, and she sort of looks to you and says, "Deputy, hello, who are you?"
Officer Georgia Chen. These are my colleagues, Officer Steve Toney.
Officer
Todd Olson.
Ho, 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 she says mockingly.
Yes.
Well, looky here, deputy. Looks like you got yourself some real big-timey city folk.
If you don't mind, we have some questions for you, ma'am.
Ask away. I'll tell you what I know.
Were you here last night at the bar?
Here every night, darling.
Well, fair. And what do you know about your patrons? The deceased? I'm sure you know about it. The rumor mill works fast in communities like these.
Who, Lynn or Carol? And deputy steps forward and says, "Now, listen, Edith, Carol's not dead. She's missing." "She's dead. She's been dead for a week, I'm sure of it."
Why do you say that?
"Because she would not show up for work. She wouldn't be lost. She's dead, darling. People don't go missing around here. They get dead. It is winter solstice, after all."
No
And she
chance.
says, winking at the deputy.
No chance that Carol would up and leave a place like this? How long has she been a resident here?
Her entire life, 30 years.
All right. And she a good employee?
She knew how to pour drinks. Is that your definition of good?
I suppose that's all that's required for a place like this.
Yeah, you said it.
So on to Lynn. Did you see her here last night?
Yeah, she was here last night, left with Philip. And the deputy perks up. Philip was here too. Yeah, she was all scared, so he drove her home.
What was she scared
What
of?
was she scared of?
What isn't she scared of? She's a weak, that insurance adjuster.
Georgia nods at Todd to continue the interrogation.
So you said that she was here and scared.
Yeah.
You're quite an imposing person. Were you scaring her?
You think I'd scare her? And you look at the woman who's like 4'9", old and really like thin, the tank top. She's got it's like a shitty 80s metal band, like a hair band. Fucking
Europe.
yeah, like Europe. She's got like a Europe tank top on or some shit. She's like,
Love them.
America.
she was scared. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like Def Leppard or some shit. She's like,
They're not shitty.
they're all shitty, just
ZZ
different
Top.
levels of shitty. Yeah, the ZZ Tops. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, and she's like, she's scared of me, honey, and she's got more things to worry about than being dead.
Okay. So, that answer me this: you said it is winter solstice, and I noticed there's something here, a frisson of energy passed between you and the deputy here. Now, you gotta explain to me what exactly you mean. It's I can't say winter solstice, but you know what I mean.
I'll tell you what I mean if you pay the $20 for that $20 word, frisson. Where you get these clowns, deputy?
Hey, I go to school. I'll have you know, I graduated first from my place of education.
Where did you go to school, Todd?
I went to school. Now, the place I went to school, you could say it was the Juilliard of police academies.
Now the officers are grilling each other. You don't even know which way's up.
She sort of gives you a tap on the shoulder. You saying Chicago? You went to Chicago? That's impressive.
Yep. I mean, they didn't think I could do it, but I did.
That's good.
And,
I like a cop with credentials, you know? I didn't see
got
that in
'em.
you, but I see it now. That's good.
You really see that, Georgia?
Yeah, I think you got something.
Oh my God, she says, and like walks down the bar to
And
grab
then when
herself a
Todd
beer
looks
from the
away, she
cooler.
like gives a big wink at Steve.
She,
Thank
like,
you so
opens a
much.
beer.
Yeah. Hey, don't be drinking. We're asking you questions here.
Well, then ask him. I don't got all day.
Georgie, I think we should talk about Phil. What do you know about Phil?
Well, I told you. Philip comforted her when she was scared. She didn't want to go outside without a big, strong man. I think she
For
was...
no reason. No, you're just scared of the outside. Scared of snow. Scared of
I
snow
think
in
she
this
was
town?
nervous of somebody. She kept saying that he was watching her.
Does Phil comfort a lot of women in this bar? Does he come here and make off with a lot of chicks?
No.
So this is kind of a one-time deal for him.
She basically pleaded to have him come home with her.
Sounds desperate.
She was scared. She
Of
thought
who?
somebody was following her. What are you, not listening? Deputy, give me a hand here. The deputy's like, oh, I don't know, Edith. They're the professionals.
Did she say who she was scared of? Anything.
No, but if you ask me, it was that Buckley fella. Arrived in town 2 weeks ago. Gave everybody the willies, remember? And she gestures to the deputy. He says, well, I did get a few complaints about him. Wilbur Buckley. Strange fella up from New Mexico. He arrived 2 weeks ago, yeah, and asked some weird questions. Made people uncomfortable. Especially after Carol disappeared.
Is Mr. Buckley still about?
I suppose, yeah, he would be. He actually helped with Carol's search. He was very interested when she went missing.
I don't mean to give away the game, but it is a common tactic for people who are involved personally in the disappearance of folks to make efforts to insert themselves into the case. We're going to need to talk to this Wilbur Buckley. Where is he?
Well, I think he's still staying at the tavern. We could probably head over there and
You
talk
guys
to
have
him
a
in
bar and a tavern?
Well, of course, we're a small town. Where do you think people stay? Not everyone here is comfortable with sleeping with friends. He says awkwardly as he darts his eyes away from the bartender.
How long has this Twice Bitten place been open?
Oh, 50 years now since the village started.
Family affair?
No.
Do you mind if I take a quick look around?
Go ahead. She laughs at your face and finishes her beer.
She's like drinking, like pours herself a beer and drinks it.
Yeah, and the deputy sort of
great.
sits down and like starts shelling peanuts.
Cool. I just want to like look through the back room, look in the walk-in fridge, look in the
Yeah,
like,
you
shitty,
see in the
tiny
corner there's
kitchen.
actually 4 men sort of sitting drinking.
Cool.
And they sort of like give you an awkward eye. And she's like, leave them alone. They're the good paying ones. The lumberjacks, huh? And she sort of gestures to the deputy and he's like, yeah. Bunch of lumberjacks rolled in a few weeks ago. They drink exclusively here because it's the only place. She's quite happy about them. Don't piss off the lumberjacks.
I want to look around in the back rooms.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do it.
Yeah, you find nothing.
All right.
You walk around the whole place. It's a tavern. You feel pretty comfortable.
No like weird murdered bodies hanging up in the freezer.
Oh, weird murdered bodies. Yeah,
Cool.
there's at least 4.
Oh yeah, good. All right. She winks at her companions and then does one of these like let's hit the road.
Cool. You all roll out. The deputy follows. He finishes his glass of lukewarm milk and puts it on the bar. See you later, Edith. And he runs out. Well, that was a treasure trove of information. Who would have thought Lynn was scared? Who do you think she was scared of?
William Buckland?
Oh,
Isn't that his name?
right. Yeah. Well, let's go.
Bucky?
And he pours into the SUV and drives a scant few minutes away to the small inn. It looks more like a bed and breakfast than what you're used to. And the sign at the front, it's sort of done in this gorgeous, almost old-timey lettering, and it's called the Hide and Tremble. And as you enter the front door, it's sort of, again, more like a comfortable home. You see an older-looking woman with low glasses sort of looking down at a sheet of paper, and she looks up and she says, "Oh, hello. Happy winter solstice. Has everyone been good this year?"
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Somebody's been bad in this town. That's why we're here, let me tell you.
And why is that?
Todd.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, I'm a hothead. I'm a hot-headed cop. That's me.
Have you been good, deputy? And she sort of ignores you, and the deputy's like, very good. And she's like, lock the door, blow out the light. And he's like, yes. Where should we go? To Buckley's room, or should we wait for him?
Sorry, was that like a regional rhyme or some kind of...
Yes. And the deputy's like, it's an old rhyme from a long time. It's just a little saying we have around.
I would love to learn a little bit more about it. Do you mind? It seemed like that was just a snippet. Could I have the full?
And she's sort of almost embarrassed and says, lock the door, blow out the light. The hungry one haunts the night. Hide and tremble, little one. He wants to have some fun. And the deputy sort of was like, pay no mind to it. They named the shop after it, so they try to promote it around the winter solstice.
That makes sense.
I see.
It's just a rhyme. Cute rhyme.
That was great. Great acting. It's okay. Should we call Buckley down, or should we go up and see him?
Let's go up and see him, shall we?
Yeah, we should go up and see him.
Okay. And she's like, well, now it's police business. And he almost gets like a bit of chagrin saying that. He's like, and he walks up to the door and knocks. Oh, wrong room. And he turns around. And the door behind you opens, and it's like, why do you shut? No, nothing. And the door opens behind. And you're greeted by, what are you doing? Did you want me to turn? Oh. And you are greeted by sort of an older looking man. He's sort of balding, and he's got a wide brimmed, almost like a cowboy hat. And he looks up. Can I help you?
Wilbur Buckley?
Present and accounted for.
How long you been here, Wilbur? Police
2
business,
weeks.
by the way, with the police here from the city.
Ah.
That's a strange badge, Todd. Sorry, can I just see that badge?
Oh, it's the same as yours. It's, you got it. We all got the same badge, because police officers.
Sorry. Yes. Wilbur. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, and you'll see that as he did try to put it into his jacket, the badge did slip through his coat, and it falls on the ground. It falls on the ground, but he's so flustered he doesn't notice. So say, hey, Wilbur, you've been in town for a little bit here. How you getting along with the locals?
I'd say I'm getting along fine, other than them having an upset every time I ask a simple question. He sort
What do
of
you
looks
mean by
towards
simple
the deputy.
question?
Well, I wanted to know whether or not Carol thought she was being watched. I didn't think that was so peculiar, but clearly it was odd enough to warrant the deputy knocking on my door yet again. And the deputy sort of perks up. He says, I was only following up on a lead that someone asked because they were uncomfortable, Wilbur. You made a few people uncomfortable. You come from all the way down south up to the frigid north. Who knows why? I don't. I told you why. I like hunting.
What is you hunt birds? Big birds? Do you heard deer? What do you hunt?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, whatever
Wilbur,
you say.
I'm not getting 100% from you here. Huh? What do you hunt, Wilbur? Huh? You tell me look at
I
my eyes and you
hunt
tell me.
whatever you just said. Birds and deer, sure.
Damn. He hunts birds and deer, guys.
He's too good, guys.
Wilbur, where were you last night?
Where was I?
Yes.
I was down at the bar, down yonder. Edith's place.
And you have anyone who can reliably vouch for this alibi?
Well, I suppose everyone in the bar,
And when did you leave?
when it closed around 1 a.m.
Did you have any interactions with one Carol Fisher while you were there?
Carol Fisher, the girl who went missing a week ago.
Lynn Fisher?
Well, you are all just doing your job. Let me ask you this. Have you even looked around the church yet?
We're asking the questions here. Thank you.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't interact with her.
No? Any interactions over the past 2 weeks, would you say, between the two of you? You said that you told her that something was following her? Is that right?
No, that's not right.
Well,
See, you. Why would
feel
you
free
ask?
to correct me.
You said that the deputy came and knocked on your door because you asked why Carol thought someone was watching her. Why would
That's
you
right.
ask that
That's what I
question?
said.
No. And the deputy's like, no, guy, no. When
Did you
Carol
put
went
something
missing,
in his hot chocolate?
he was asking if Carol had reported anyone fall. He asked me, but he was trying to find out stuff. He was sort of creating his own side investigation, which obviously is not good because, I'm the law in this town. Unless these three are here, in which case I'll let them take the lead.
Very good.
Is there anything
What?
else I can help you with?
I want to look at his shoes.
Yeah,
What's he wearing?
take feet pics.
Do it, yeah. I mean, you saw Philip kick open the door in the video.
Yeah.
But why not?
Oh, yeah,
You see his
you're right.
picture?
No,
He's
I
like,
completely forgot about that. No, it's
Maybe you have a
fine.
side hustle.
I
You got a
don't.
side
I
hustle. You gotta
don't
sell
take
something.
pictures of his feet. I do not do that. I forgot that we have resolved the feet clue.
I got another question for you there, Wilbur.
all right.
Why are you concerned with what Carol thinks? You come up here a couple weeks ago, maybe make a couple friends in the community. Why do you give a shit if she thinks that someone's following her?
Because there's something in this town that you aren't ready to face.
What's that supposed to mean? You think we're not
You threatening us?
capable of handling this investigation, Wilbur? You trying to intimidate us?
I think you don't know what you're in for. It is the winter solstice, after all.
Yeah, you like
Okay,
that rhyme?
People keep saying that. People keep saying that. What does that
We're
mean?
with.
What does
we're
that
with Deputy
mean?
Irvin, right? Deputy May.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey,
May.
Deputy, could you go down and get the guest registry for us?
Yep.
Real quick.
And he walks away.
All right, Wilbur. You're not from here. Is this your first time here in Badgerville?
Yeah.
What the fuck is up with this town, man? Like,
Steve.
You three
No.
are so in over your heads.
you see, this is what I'm talking about, because obviously there's some fucked up weird shit going on here. You being an outsider coming in, you seem to know what the fuck is going on, and I would really appreciate it if you could tell us what the fuck is going on, because this town is fucking weird. Please. Wilbur.
I'll give you a little bit of advice. Friendly,
Aight.
so. Stay away from the woods.
Okay.
Why?
And if you're willing to do some work, go look at the church. They missed something important I think you should see. And then he slowly starts shutting the door, and as he does, you hear him say, "Hear it scratching on the door, see its shadow cross the floor. The sun won't rise for quite a while, till then beware of his big smile." And the door shuts.
This is bullshit.
The deputy comes back up with the guest book. Got it. Didn't know which one you wanted, so I got the last 5 years.
That's
and there's
great.
6
Awesome.
of them.
That's perfect.
You know what?
Perfect,
Bring those
May.
to the station and write everything down. We need copies.
Okay. And he leaves.
Okay.
You okay, Todd? You look a little bit pale there, Todd.
What? I'm good. Georgia, Steve and Joel, I've got a question. pop
What's up,
quiz
Todd?
for fellow cops. What's the jail sentence for impersonating a police officer again? I seems to have slipped my memory. It's long. Is that right? Is it long? Is it short? I don't think it's.
I mean, I think
we
it
should
depends
go.
under what circumstances it is. Like, if you go up to someone and you're like, "Hey, I'm a cop," technically, yeah, that's impersonating an officer, even if you're not. But I mean, you're just gonna get scolded for that one. But like,
You don't
let's
think
say,
that Wilbur is like pretending to be a police officer, do you?
That was what I first thought. That is what I first thought initially. I don't anymore.
I mean, we can look into it, but I don't think that. I think you're barking up the wrong tree, friend.
Yeah. Okay. Scolding. That's good to know. Okay.
Should we go to the church? Are you sure you're okay? Did you want to?
I'll have a soda on the way, and I'll be
Okay.
fine. The church. Let's go to the church. Do police work at the church?
all right, yeah.
We go to the church.
Perfect. So you head outside, and it's now maybe like 1, and the sun, it's starting to already get a little low. Dawn, like dusk is like 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, because it's the longest night of the year. And as you get into your SUV and you start driving away, you see the church. You saw it when you were coming in. It's sort of sitting back on the hill, right against the woods, sort of back tucked in a little bit. And you bring the car to a stop, and as you do, you see the church sits there with the 2 open doors to the inside, as if beckoning you closer.
How long has the priest been missing? Do we know?
You didn't
Between
ask, but I'll
2
just tell
weeks
you
and-
because why not? It's been missing since Sunday. It's now Friday.
We look in the briefing. We figure it out.
Yeah.
5 days.
You have a
Yeah.
timeline of events. Would you like me to tell you the timeline of events?
Yeah.
That's in the briefing. So Tuesday, week last, so a week ago on Tuesday, Carol Turner went missing. The next day, Carol's husband Mark reported her missing, and then they searched for the woods and they found a crashed car. The search for Carol continued on Thursday. Friday, they found some cracked ice that some people think maybe she fell through. Saturday, the worry started to lessen. Sunday, Father Copeland went missing. Monday, people tried to search. Worry sort of started to percolate. Tuesday, people started to, continue searching. Wednesday. Thursday, which is yesterday, Lynn, you now know, was followed home by Philip and was murdered sometime that evening. It's now Friday, winter solstice.
Cool.
Okay.
While we're looking through the briefing, does it
Yeah.
say who sent us out here?
Yeah, your respective
Say,
officers.
and who contacted us asking for our help?
The cult of the many... Oh, you don't know that yet.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Harlan. That's good.
So you head up to the church?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
we go to the
we go
church.
in.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And as you enter, you see there's sort of a younger man dressed in the, religious garb, and he's sort of just going between the pews and sort of fixing manuals and stuff. And he looks up towards you and he's like,
God manuals.
hello, hello. How are you? How are you? Can I help you? And he walks over.
Yeah, hi there. Officer Georgia Chen.
No, Mike Blair.
No, that's me. I'm
Oh,
Todd-
I thought
Todd
you were saying
Olson.
I am an officer. I was going to say, no, we're the caller.
Mike Blair.
Happy winter solstice to you.
I suppose so.
Have you been good this year?
I don't
Tell
like being
me-
asked that all the time, man. Okay?
Yeah, tell me, Mike,
I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
Why do we hear that so much today?
Yeah.
You
A
both
lot.
are acting very interesting to a very innocuous question. Well, winter solstice is here, and every year we're judged to make sure that we've done good all year round.
Judged
But-
by whom?
Well, by whomever you believe in, I suppose.
What?
Listen,
That-
Mike,
Is
I'm
that not a regional thing?
not a religious person.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a religious
I'm
thing.
not a child. I don't believe in Santa Claus. And the only people that can judge me are the administrators of the police force, and they do harshly.
I'm glad for that.
Now listen.
Yes?
When people ask us if we've been good this year, who are they referring to as the arbiter of that judgment?
I don't... I regret the question. It's a very... I've spent my entire life in this town. Every winter solstice, we always make sure we've been extra good. I suppose it's just something that rolls off the tongue. I didn't think.
Have
much
you
of
ever
it.
been bad?
I
What
suppose
happens
so.
if
Yes.
you've been bad?
Well, I for me, I was spanked, and I went to bed without supper a few times, and one time, smash cut to like 20 minutes later, and he's like, and when she came back, there was no more meowing.
Fuck.
Steve is just smoking a cigarette.
You have been through some stuff, my friend. I have.
Listen,
That felt good.
I'm very
felt really
sorry.
good. I never even was that honest with Father
Todd has written
Copeland.
all of this down. Like, this is amazing material.
Here.
Interview
Did you
evidence.
Here. Do you
Oh
need-
no, that's all right. He looks over to like the heap of used tissues next to him. He's like, I can use one of these. Oh, hi, Louie. Yes, go to bed.
The dog gets really worried
Thought I
whenever
was
we
crying.
pretend to cry.
Okay, go, Louie, go to bed. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's now ready to answer your legitimate questions.
Those were legitimate questions.
What was the question again?
We were asking about why people are asking us the question, why have you been good this year? What
Yeah,
happens
and
if
he
you're bad? Blah,
reiterates.
blah, blah.
It's
Yeah.
because winter solstice. It's just sort of a regional thing.
What's your favorite line in the classic rhyme for this time of year?
Oh, you've heard the classic rhyme already.
I
Well-
have,
here
and I
a
was
little bit.
wondering what your favorite part of it was.
I always liked see its shadow cross the floor because it sounds like a cross.
I
Very
see.
devout man. You must respect the father here quite a bit.
Well, he's missing now.
I
Did you-
understand that.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
quite sad.
Father Copeland, when was the last time you saw him?
Well, it would have been Sunday after service. I left. Evening comes quick here. Around 5 o'clock, I saw him last, and no one's seen him since. I pray he's all right.
Does he have an office here, some kind of workroom that he does
The
priest
rectory?
stuff
Yes.
in?
Yes, but the deputies have all been through that.
I would love to
I
look
think
at
we
it
should,
just to double check some
Of
stuff.
course, of course. And he leads you to the back and unlocks the door, and you're into the office, and you can kind of see, books and stuff, and you start searching, and the father does a service every Sunday. He gives everyone their, appropriate prayers and all that stuff, and then he shakes everyone's hand before they leave, and then before that he will lock up here, and I typically go home. He'll put out all the candles. He take the garbage out back, and then such is life. Hopefully.
he did that last. He took the garbage out. Was the last thing he did taking the garbage out before you saw him?
Well, I wouldn't know. He usually does that after I leave.
Okay.
And did you see anyone out of place here during the Sunday service? Anyone new in the crowd or anyone acting strangely?
Well, now that you mention it, the lumberjacks have been playing quite a big role in the service in the tavern. They've been really migrating here. They've only been here for a few weeks. I think they're over eastward of town. They're one of those migrant types. They come in, cut a lot of the woods when the work is needed, and then just move on. They're pretty common, but more tend to be visiting the service than those in previous years.
Interesting.
Okay.
Is it? I guess.
Okay. Did Wilbur ever come over here? You know, that new guy, Wilbur
Buxton?
Buckley?
Buckers?
Wilbur
Buckers?
Buckley. He ever come over here? He come to the services before?
Not that I know. No.
So you've never seen him around here?
I don't think so. No, I wouldn't really know what he... No, I haven't.
Have you ever been to New Mexico?
No, I've been in Manitoba my entire life.
Okay.
All right.
Good to know.
Very good.
Harlan, I'd like to look in the place that all of the other police officers failed to look.
Yeah. So you find the little cubby that no one else looked, and you see a spider.
Perfect.
Oh.
See what?
Do I get bit by the spider?
A spider. No, he's a daddy long legs. He's trying, but he can't do it.
Todd will take a small Ziploc bag full of a nondescript white powder and take very clearly a makeup brush and
Yeah.
dip it in, start dusting. He's like,
And the father is like so impressed. He's like, oh.
you got to check for prints, and if you get closer, there's a distinct whiff of flour off it.
Oh, wow. I don't want to tell you how to do your job, Officer Olson.
Dusting for fingerprints here.
Well, that's
this is an
fantastic.
investigation we're doing here.
Oh, no, for sure. But don't you typically... Do you really want to dust under the chair? I don't think he really touched the bottom of the chair very much. Again, I don't want to do...
That's why I'm the policeman and you're the
We asked the questions here.
churchman.
That's
Mike.
fair. That's fair. Okay.
Now, as it stands, with you as, I guess, the second in command of this church, you stand the most to gain from the father's disappearance, do you not?
Well, I suppose gain in terms of the responsibilities for very little pay increase. Yes.
And the clout in the community, and your place here at the head of God's table, is that not correct?
No, that is not correct. They'll be replacing the father very quickly. They don't move me up.
All right. Okay, so you're just kind of a nobody here. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Relatively so. But now you sound like my mother.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
Smash cut. 20 minutes later, another tissue box gone.
And I'm crying too, and I'm like, that reminds me of when my mom. Yeah.
This is really, we can access so many emotions through all this talking. This is absolutely fantastic material. This is you stop crying, man. God. Huh?
Cool. Can I investigate? I want to investigate the altar.
Sure. You investigate the altar, you find nothing.
Okay.
So look around.
I
we
think
talk to the
during one of those
lumberjacks?
big 20-minute crying spiels, Steve is going to go around with a black light and just try and find something.
Where's all the semen?
Yeah, you look and you...
Tell me
There's a lot of
3
jokes I
minutes.
could make right now, but I'm not going to because
Like he's gonna
You
go out
respect-
back. He's gonna
I
look in the
respect
trash.
those terrible Catholic priests that can fucking rot. No, because it's not that funny. And yeah, you don't find anything.
Okay.
Confession booth?
Confession.
You look entirely inside everywhere, you find nothing.
Okay.
Is there anything funny with the pamphlets and those Christ manuals that he
The
was
guides?
typing?
Nope.
The God guides. Yeah. Okay.
Guys, I mean, I don't want to go to the woods, but should we go to the woods? I feel like we should also talk to the lumberjacks, maybe. They seem to be, I don't know. They would go to the woods because they're lumberjacks. And we were told not to go to the woods by Wilbur, but they surely go to the woods.
You know what, Todd, at this point, and she's smoking one of Steve's cigarettes now,
Yeah.
I'm willing to do anything. It's been 8 hours, and this is the longest it's ever taken me to solve a case.
Todd starts to mimic what you're doing, even though he doesn't have a cigarette. He's just like, yeah, that's bad. What do we want to do?
Where are you going? Into the woods?
Well,
Yeah, we want to go to the lumberjack camp.
Sure, it's east of town. And he's like looking around at this like mess that you've created. It's just like everything is torn up. He's like,
Communion wafers all over the floor because
Yeah,
I
and
was
he's
going
like,
through like the box of
oh
them.
boy, I get to play cleanup tonight. Oh, well, thanks for stopping by. He says it with like genuineness. Like he's excited to like.
Yeah. Happy Solstice.
And to
good.
you. Can you actually do me a favor? Before you leave, can you just throw out this garbage? And he hands you the garbage bag. It's just out back before you leave.
Yeah.
okay.
I can definitely do this for you.
Thank you.
I mean, it's not our job to do your.
No,
All right, I'll
yeah,
do it.
but-
And he takes it back.
No, we
He's like,
take it. We take it. We take
I got
it.
it.
We take it.
I
We go.
got
Yeah, and as you head out back and you throw it into the dumpster, you see blood very clearly just splayed out. Like it's a few days old, obviously, but it's leaching off into the woods. A quite literal blood trail.
Oh, man.
Hey, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve.
This isn't normal, right? Like, this is... I've seen a lot of crime scenes. I've seen a lot of stuff.
Me too.
This isn't normal. This isn't normal. This isn't normal.
I mean, usually we don't see a slug trail of blood from a dumpster into the woods in a small town community. No, but
this seems like something someone should have noticed a lot sooner. This community...
starting to feel like this might be par for the course here.
Yeah, I am too. I do not feel safe anymore here. I'm gonna say that out loud. I am going to let all of you know.
Are you packing?
Of course I'm packing. Yes, of course I am.
We have guns.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
Are
do.
we Canadian cops or American cops?
You're both.
Great. We have dual citizenship.
I left my standard issue on the plane. I don't have it.
Oh, here you go. She hands you one of her extra pistols.
He takes it like by the barrel, like. Thank you for this.
And
I'm gonna carry it.
Yeah, Todd, you should also probably have your badge. And Steve hands over the badge that Todd dropped on the floor. And as he hands it back, you can notice that like some of the gold paint has chipped off of the plastic.
He'll take it real quick. Thank you for my badge, my issued badge that I...
Yes, badge number 0000.
Okay, guys, look, please don't tell anybody. I'm not a cop. I was allowed to come here. The precinct guy, I'm an actor. I studied at Juilliard. I'm playing a cop in a play later on. I didn't know what I was getting into, okay?
Listen, Todd, get a hold of yourself. And she takes hold of both of your shoulders. Even if you're a ride-along, you're still a number here.
Okay.
And we need as many people as we can to catch this sick fuck that's ravaging this town. Do you understand me?
Do you understand me? Yeah, I understand. You know what? From now on, until this day is over, I am a cop. I'm a police officer.
That's not how it works. You gotta
No.
actually go to school.
You do
need
have to-
licenses, there's training courses.
Yeah,
You will
I
not
should
be
have
shooting
said
that
It was
gun.
disrespectful.
Have you ever
Absolutely
fired a
not.
gun before, Todd?
No, I
In
have
fact,
not,
let me
sir.
just take that back from you really quick.
Here
Okay,
is
that
a
is
knife.
best.
Have you held a knife before?
I am an amateur. I am a home cook.
All right, here is a taser. Here is a
Okay,
taser.
this is definitely
okay?
my speed.
Yeah.
It's the same shape as
use
the
a
video
taser.
game
You,
guns.
You like
I'm good with
accidentally
this.
discharge it into Georgia's thigh and she like falls over on the ground.
He like grabbed the little tendrils that come out of it. Like, I'm not so. Oh God!
So good.
10
Get it
minutes
like
later.
reset. And be like, that's not gonna happen again.
Smash cut 10 minutes later, all he has is like a billy club.
So good. I
There
love
was a
it.
stick in the garbage.
tree
and just like, I'm gonna
branch.
carry.
But it's like none of the branches are off. It's just like you're dragging it like this. It's like a fresh branch. Like shh.
I can cause visual distractions while you actually, get with the, defending.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
get
of
in the
course.
way, guys, okay? I'm here
course.
to support you and to learn from you for my
So
play
Steve is
opening
gonna
next week.
crack
Shut up,
open
Todd.
his big camera bag he's been hauling this entire time, and you guys look inside and it's just like, yeah, standard lenses and stuff. And then he lifts those out, and there's just like a screw-on rifle behind there with a nice big like
Yeah.
Nice.
telephoto scope, and he like gets that prepped, and he pulls out a sawed-off shotgun and he just hands it over to Georgia.
Yeah, she takes it.
Whoa.
She like does that thing where she like does the chick but with
Yeah.
one hand. Yeah.
Yeah. You need anything else? I think I got a couple other things in here.
No, I'm good. She like
All right.
throws back her puffy like bomber jacket to reveal that she has fucking like a grenade or something. It's just like
Nice.
too
Nice.
kitted out for. She's like, yeah, I took some liberties before we left the station. So
Yeah,
I mean,
Amazing.
I'm definitely gonna have to like make amends for just rifling through the. You know what? I'm gonna deal with that later.
Cool.
Here we go.
Do this, officers of the law.
and
Not
Todd.
Oh,
you,
no, just
Todd.
me.
No.
I'm sorry, guys.
All right. The three of you head off into the now darkening wood. And as you walk into the woods, darkness falls across the land. It is now the beginning of the winter solstice. You march quietly, following the blood trail, keeping an eye on the deep red, now frozen cuts of blood as you move between the trees. And eventually, you come across the cut trees of the lumberjacks' camp. You see the tents, you see the small cabins, all seemingly occupied still at one point or another, although now relatively silent. The blood trail, however, just seems to veer around it and continues off into the woods. You follow it as the night grows darker and colder and more sinister around you. Slowly, you come to the edge of a copse of trees, and at first, you question whether this is just the start of another piece of land that someone is farming, but you're far too deep in the wood to be near any living creature. Till you hear the movement. Just beyond the edge of the trees, you see what was once a swamp, now frozen over. Glacial-like strands of swamp grass stick up, jutting like sharp knife-like fingers surround the drooping willow trees, as if long ago this area was humid. And in the center, a mound, a burrow, almost open towards the sky. A large dwelling, freshly made, the dirt churned up and piled around it, as if to enter within, but there's no need to, for a figure stands with its back towards you. A human. You hear it. The gnawing the human is on the bones of something below. And as it turns its head to hear you, you see it. It stands up, holding a femur from the half-severed body of Philip Sears lying beneath it. The man turns around, takes a large bite, and drops the bone. He wipes his mouth, and you see he looks like a lumberjack, like any of the others. There's a moment as he stares across the darkness towards the three of you.
My flashlight beam is like dancing across his face. How far away are we?
I don't know, like 100 feet maybe?
Yeah. What the fuck? Stay down! Get down! Police! And I fire off a shot just into the darkness.
Sure, yeah. And it hits. It like pierces the flesh of the guy, who falls to his knees. He sort of looks down at it, touches it, looks at the blood in his hand, and then shows you the black, dripping ichor as he smiles and begins to grow in size.
No.
Oh, no.
He grows to a large, almost giant creature with tall, long, black claws, a deep blue skin, and eyes that are fixated on you. He holds a massive glaive in one hand as he belches towards the sky in a howl. It echoes in the forest as he begins reciting the nursery rhyme.
Lock the door, blow out the light. The hungry Oni haunts the night. Hide and tremble, little one. The Oni wants to have some fun.
And as the creature stomps towards you, its massive clawed feet sort of carving out the frozen ground before you, It screams and throws its glaive towards you. Everyone roll for initiative. Wait. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Ooh. We're doing no modifiers, right? Straight rolls.
Correct.
12.
12.
Fuck 2.
Oh, no.
Let me run and get a dice. I'll be right back.
I'll roll for you.
At the top of the show, Gary was like, I don't have dice. Is that fine?
And then I was like,
yep.
or is it just D&D?
Psych.
It's a 2 as well. Sorry, Gary.
Cool.
Perfect. And the Oni rolled a 5.
Discord was pretty convinced that this was going to be a were-badger situation.
It's
I was
secret
convinced it was going to be
D&D.
a were-badger. This is great.
All right.
Oni. Okay.
Joe, yeah, you see this giant creature walk towards you. What do you do?
I'm going to take off through the trees.
Yeah.
The beam of my flashlight illuminating the ground in front of me. I want to kind of try to get around and flank it a little
That's
bit.
your movement? And what do you
That's
do
my
for your
movement,
action?
and then I'm going to fire my whatever kind of gun that I have.
Yeah, give me a roll to hit.
I'm going to do it. Ooh, 15.
Yeah, that hits. Roll 2d8.
Great. 5 damage.
Yeah, your bullets hit into the Oni as it belches out a scream of pain.
Fuck you!
As your bullets pierce through it, it turns towards you and swipes at you with its glaive. It is going to hit you with a 16.
That's probably enough.
And it goes and it cuts off the tops of the trees around you and just slices your arm for 3 damage.
All right.
This massive giant creature again hollers into the night, snarling and hungry. Next up is you, Steve.
Go, Steve!
Yay, Steve. Steve is gonna try and line up a shot with this big ass fucking hunting rifle he has.
Yeah, baby.
So he kind of steadies it as it swipes over the trees and everything, and he's gonna wait for just the right moment, and he's gonna pull the trigger, trying to aim for a headshot.
Yeah, give me advantage. Roll 2 and take the higher.
13.
Nice. Yeah, we'll call that a hit.
Sweet.
What do you do damage-wise? Give me 3d8.
Okay, hold on. 7.
Nice. Yeah. You fire at this thing and it knocks it back again as it belches into the sky in pain. Then it turns to you, Todd, seeing that it's your turn next. What do you do, my friend?
Todd he'll brandish the tree branch and
Yeah.
he'll shout to Steve, Steve, throw me your lighter,
Ooh.
Ooh.
and hope that
I
happens.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve throws you a lighter. If not,
Yeah,
God
Yeah, I
does.
do. Absolutely.
And I'll try to light the
Steve's like, no, this is
dry
my only
leaves.
lighter.
It's a really
Nice.
good Zippo lighter, man.
Yeah, you light the branch on fire and you
I'll
come at him
try
with like a
hit him.
flaming club,
That's
essentially.
awesome.
Oh, nice. Give me a d20.
4.
No.
Yeah, no, you like waft it like, vroom, vroom, but you are making yourself a
2
target.
years of stage combat.
The Oni like
Fucking
reels back
Juliad!
with its black claws, about to strike you when a bullet rips through it. You see Wilbur reload from the side.
Yeah!
The man who's been hunting this thing since New Mexico.
Fuck yeah,
And he reloads,
Wilbur.
dealing a whopping 20 damage to the thing.
Whoa.
As it pierces through the side of the Oni's skull. Top of the round, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia does some strafing, some strategic somersaults. She goes behind a tree,
Yeah.
and then she shoots it with her gun.
Perfect. Give me 2d8.
I have to roll first, hey?
Sure, do that then.
That's only a 9.
Yeah, that's going to miss. Next up is the Oni. He is
Too
not
busy
happy that
rolling.
this flaming branch is coming at him, so he reels back to try to bite you with a natural 1. He slips on the ice and falls, this massive Oni. Everyone gets a free round of attack. Everybody roll d20s, including
Fuck
Wilbur.
yes.
Ooh, that's a hit.
Nat 20.
Oh!
16. Nice. 17.
Okay, everybody hits. Wilbur's bullet sinks into the Oni's skull, halving the damage. Georgia fires 3 times in the wet flesh as you hear him scream out in pain. You see Steve reloads again and fires into the top of his skull. The thing is barely standing. Todd, you with the flaming branch stand over the creature. What do you do?
Is he on ice, you said?
He's lying down. This is his killing blow.
Oni on ice.
Right. So what Todd will do is he'll run toward where the beast is on the ice.
Yeah.
He'll hold the branch in the hand that faces the beast on his side, and he will slide on his knees across the ice.
Yes.
Past him, lighting his whole body on fire as he does
Yes.
this. Then does a perfect barrel jump at the end and like fucking stage.
Yes. And you
Stage
hear the
flourishes.
applause in your head.
Yeah, he's just like,
You're like,
this is bad.
as the Oni lights up, his flesh bubbling and cracking and screaming as the Oni begins to melt in the midnight sky, winter solstice finally coming to an end. He sort of just crumples, dries, and dies. And as the ashes of him begin to blow away, Wilbur slings the rifle over his shoulder and walks towards you. I wasn't quite sure that you would make it this far, let alone be ready to handle a creature such as that. I'm impressed.
You fucking asshole. I asked you specifically what the fuck was going on. You could have said, oh, big scary monster. I would have fucking believed you. Jesus
Well,
fucking Christ, man.
I would have saved you some trouble had you let me kill it my own, but put it this way, I'm glad you're here. And that's not the only Oni I've been hunting. There's a few more. You think the three of you are ready for expert mode?
Georgia wipes some of the blood away from her nose where it had started bleeding when she took that beefy hit. Fuck yeah, we're ready.
He's like, well, I got 3 extra tickets to Cancun. He like fans them out as like the music starts coming in. Time for another Oni hunt. And as the 4 of them walk off into the fading light, the camera like pans up and you see the moon high in the sky. And then you see the bartender turn around in the moon and she's like, till next season. And it ends there.
That was fucking great.
Good game.
That was so good.
Good job, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, like 95% of it was just improv.
Ah, you
fun
guys did
times.
so
That
good.
was good. That was so much fun, though.
Yeah. That
Oh,
was
you
awesome.
did great.
was
Well, it's
great.
funny. My concept was, I had no concept until we started. And then I was like, what if you took a D&D creature and threw it into like a semi-serious campaign? And I was like really riffing on the mind flare for a while. I was like, okay, cool. Like, but then I read the Oni. I was like, oh, but you know what? The Oni can like shapeshift and shit. So I was like, I kind of want to do a series of like, but like it's got to be a trick on you guys too. Like you can't know what it is, right? But I love the idea of like the serious stone giant or like mind flare or like just something really weird.
Some fucking
I was-
holder.
Reading
Yeah.
so much into
I was
the
thinking
names.
Beholder was one of my options too. But then I was like, how do you make that happen organically? Like a beholder, you know? So.
I was like, the hide and tremble, man. The like, what was it? Twice bitten. This is like totally a vampire. or
Well,
a
so
werewolf
the other thing
or
was
a-
I wanted to. We've done a lot of vampire games.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a lot of cult games. So I wanted it to feel really. And the best part is though, like out of context, it totally makes sense that some weird small town would just be like, "Happy Winter Solstice. Hope you're being well."
Oh,
Like just some
God.
bullshit, some dumb thing that they did at their own church, right?
the
Like,
town where I grew up. They're like Happy Puppet Festival.
that's
that
what
we
I
have.
mean. So I was like, it makes total sense that we'd have some stupid tradition, but given how informed you guys are, it's going to make you think there's more. But I don't know if you know this, but so in the D&D Monster Manual, the Oni, the actual page, has a poem written. That's the poem. Lock the
Oh,
door,
that's
blow out the
awesome.
light. The
Shit.
hungry Oni haunts the night.
Shit.
Now that you say it,
And I was kind of
recall-
thinking, I was like, oh man, I wonder if they know it so well that they're going to be able to immediately tell what it is.
No, man,
That was good.
that was great.
Definitely, like, the entire feel was a red herring, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Every step was
Mm-hmm.
great.
Yeah.
Oh,
I-
it was so good.
I was excited
Love
about
Todd as the
Todd.
fucking
bless
foil
Todd.
to the police
So
work.
good. Great character concept. I almost wish we were rolling D&D for most of it because it would have been great to give you inspiration for so much of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the actual page in the Monster Manual, for anybody who's curious, it has it. Can't really see it
sweet.
there, but it's just below the text. And again, the stats for the Oni, which are just kind of interesting in their own right, are that it is nursery rhymes. Oni are fearsome boogeymen that haunt the nightmares of children. By the light of day, an Oni hides its true form with magic, gaining the trust of those it intends to betray. As darkness descends, these creatures can change their size as well as their shape, appearing as humanoids. And then there's like the childhood rhyme and stuff like that. So anyway, fun game. Great job, guys.
Yeah,
Very
super fun.
interesting
That was
youth
fun.
concept. Yeah.
It was good.
That is it from us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to be here next Wednesday, but we will be here the Thursday after. We might be doing something on Wednesday. It won't be live, but you can be checking it out. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been an absolute blast. And as my good friend James always likes to say,
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, guys!